afternoon, Mr. Kiley here with Martial Arts America. It's Team Navarre. This is going to be your sparring, drills, and conditioning class. Today's date is Tuesday, April the 28th, 4/28. The goal, last week we worked on a lot of the critical drills and the critical techniques needed to do a side kick and a step behind side, or a step back side. And working on a lot of our defensive kind of postures there and how to work that, and with a lot of technical stuff. I like to kind of go off and on, working things very technically, and then working things what's called explosively, very strong. So making sure we're strengthening our brain. And then on every other week, we're also strengthening our body and making it so we can move fast and move strong and jump high, and be very controlled and balanced while doing it. That's also one of the very key parts of what we're doing when we do all these drills and techniques, is paying attention to not only the drill itself. So if it's a jumping drill, not only how to do the jumping part correctly, but also how to land correctly. Because as from sparring, you guys probably know that it's not just one move long, right? That's why we practice combinations. That's why we practice footwork. We do a lot of different movement things, because sparring, it's not one movement you score a point. A lot of times you have to either throw combinations, or you have to dodge a technique, or have to block something. So it's the ability to be very quick and fast and explosive, but then quickly land safely and strongly and kind of soundly on your feet, so you can quickly move again, right? That's the kind of the portion, or the goal we're trying to get to, is where we can do all these movements very fast, but also do them back to back to back. Do them repeatedly without getting tired eventually is the goal. We're going to stretch out first, then we're going to work out, and the whole other goal is kind of, as we're going through these drills, I'm trying to teach you these drills so that you can practice them on your own time, because the way to get better at any of these things, of course, is frequency, where you're doing them more often, and then consistency, where you're having a particular time frame in which you're doing them. It's not just sporadic. It's not just every day that you can remember. It's either every day, or it's every other day, it's every whatever your schedule needs to be. But having a schedule is very important to be able to track your progress, right? So you do these drills twice a week, just when you do them on Tuesday and Thursday, but then you can't really tell if you've gotten better because you can't remember when you did class. Then it's kind of hard to tell what the next step is. So if you have a set schedule, and then from there you can go, I need to add another day, I need to add 2 more days, I need to practice this twice more, and then from there you can go back and see, ooh, I've gotten better. Adding 2 more days really helps. Whatever your schedule needs to be, you have to be able to track it. You have to work on, again, the frequency of it, and keep doing them more often than not, all right? So let's warm up a little bit, take your legs out, and here we're kind of leaning forward. Arms are crossed, you're just kind of rock from side to side. Hopefully you guys have already stretched today. Either you've had class, or it's just a very good habit to have, is to stretch right when you wake up, or stretch sometime in the morning as you feel your body waking up. So like parents, it's a very good idea as you're drinking your coffee or having your tea, whatever you're doing in the morning. That's a good time to sit down and stretch out your bodies, because your brain's kind of thawing out. It's a good time. Your body's also kind of thawing out. It's at its most opportune time to actually get something from the stretch is right after you wake up, because your body hasn't already started all those normal habits and processes it does throughout the day. This side. So especially if you're trying to do, if there's a specific purpose for your stretching and you're trying to do some corrective work, whether you're correcting your posture, or your flexibility, or your mobility, bend this knee, doing it right in the morning, right when you've woken up and your body hasn't started its day, it's the most opportune time to get something out of it. So if you're not already doing that, if you have 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, try to do that. If you don't have 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, God bless you, try to schedule that, it'd be great. Frog split, you're going to lean forward, you're going to push your legs out, and you try to make sure you're doing this. The weight is sitting kind of on from your knees to your hips. You're not sunk back. If you don't feel a stretch, then you're not doing it right, like a death. But make sure that no one is so flexible where they can do this and not feel something. So here, you're either leaning too far forward, or you're leaning too far back. It's kind of a balancing act. You can kind of see from the side when you're doing it. If I'm just leaning, if my hips, if my belly button is way in front of my knees, you're not going to get anything from it. So that's the same thing. If my hips and belly button are way too far back behind my knees, I'm just sitting on my legs, you're not going to get anything from it. You want to sit directly over the top. And then from there, I want to walk my knees out. Kind of I walk my foot out, and that then pulls my knee outwards. And I walk my foot out, and that pulls my knee out. And then pull your feet and your knees in. You gotta hold that. Okay. You're also leaning forward this way. You can also, from there, once you find your stretch, then you can start pushing backwards while staying low. This also helps open up your hips, so much doing a squat. Good. Good. Okay, another really fun one. This one's be kind of tricky to set up, but watch close. You're going to go here. It's called the boots. We're going to push up position. Then you're going to take, well, you can also have your knees on the ground, it's fine. You're going to take your left leg and you're going to bring it up. You want your hands not super wide, kind of right on the line of your shoulders, right there. Because I'm going to take my left foot, I'm going to bring it up to my left foot, my left hand. I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to turn my body straight up and down. I want to try to imagine a straight line going from fingertip down to the palm of my other hand. I want to come back down, bring my foot back, switch foot. You can also do this from your knee, it's fine. And we're also going to, with some of the movements we have, they're very explosive, and so they use a lot of your calf muscle on the back or the bottom of your leg. So specifically stretching those out and warming those up is very, very critical and important. One of the easiest ways to do that, you go to a bad push-up position. So I go here, I go like that, and I want to take one leg and cross it over, just like this. And then I want to actually try to drive that heel slowly towards the ground. It's not going to make it there, but it's not supposed to. You're going to sit here, and as I kind of push my bottom up into the air, you should feel that stretch right in the back of that leg you're standing on. And I come out of it, I switch. Good. Okay, this one, grab a chair or a wall or a couch or something to hold on to. Mine's over here. We're going to work some hip swings. We work a lot of static stretches, which are very important. In the adult class, we did these already, so just prepare to do more if you're adult class. But the whole point is you want to work stretches slowly and smoothly to warm your body up. But then also we're doing a lot of active, a lot of explosive movement, so there has to be some sort of middle ground with our motions. If I just go from very slow, controlled stretches to then a lot of high intensity movements, your body might not be ready for those. Or like it may not be ready to do some of those motions, right? And so in this case, like a hip swing, just kind of gets those hips used to opening up and keeping your body very postured tall, so that you have that range of motion through your legs like you want it. So it's just from here, the whole goal of holding on to something is to try to keep your frame in that very perpendicular line. You're not leaning, you're turning. And maybe a little bit, you're trying to fight it the best you can. And then from here, you take one leg, and it's going to go across your body. At that point, you do kind of want to rotate your hips and shoulders a little bit. But then as you open it back up, it stays very still. It stays here, back. So it's 1, 2, just to generate that energy for that swing. If you notice that you go here and your body does that, try to bring it down a little bit. That's your body's way of saying too much, right? And so you're trying to keep it flat. I haven't yet, but I'm waiting for the day where on the way back and I kick the chair. I haven't done it yet, but it's going to happen one day. Hopefully it's not today. You'll know when it does. You'll hear it. As in you'll hear me hitting the chair. You'll hurt. I'll smile. One more. Awesome. All right, so simple, easy footwork drills, starting with small ones, working up. Okay, so the first one is just going to be a simple hopping drill, kind of working on staying light on your feet. And so you're going to find a line, find something, whether it's a ruler or something at your house that you can kind of keep in a roll so you can be out, good, and stay there. And you're simply going to jump over and jump back. Good. Back and forth is the goal. And anything works. I have a piece of tape on the ground. Good. Other things you can also use. So simply a pair of shorts rolled up. Ta-da, boom. Very good. You can also take a towel rolled up, something to kind of visibly see and give you that doesn't be super tall, so you can jump over and jump back. Ready? We're gonna go for 30 seconds, best we can. Doesn't have to be super fast. Just work on staying light on your feet. And go. Over and back. Over and back. Also work on controlling the jump, not trying to go way too far, right? Trying to stay right near, so if I go from the side, I'm gonna stay right near. Feet somewhat together. Good. Okay, next one, same concept. Keep it this way. You're going to go over and back. Trying to keep your feet together. Again, trying not to stay too far outside of your frame. So that's one of the things we're doing. Is a lot of students that have trouble with this drill. It's not the hopping motion they're having trouble with. It's the controlling of the hopping motion. Their legs are so strong, or their body is so explosive. that they go way over there. And then that's difficult. So instead, your feet kind of stay somewhat pinched together, and it's just here. Try to very much repeat that same process over and over again for about 30 seconds. Ready? And go. And also kind of learning how to counterbalance yourself as you're jumping. Kind of see my body leaning to one side, whichever way I'm jumping. I'm kind of leaning the opposite direction, so that it kind of balances myself out. Keeps my body in the middle. Right? Back this way. Cool. Now, because we're going to work on same concept this time. If you have something that can make it kind of a cross, so two things, that would be helpful. Okay, if not, can I have these squares here? Or if you can, so this like if you're on a tile floor, it kind of helps as long as you're safe. Or as long as you can just track the pattern of your feet. You technically don't need anything to jump over. It's just helpful sometimes to have that visual reminder. We're going to go in a square. We're going to go in the box. So we're going to take just 1 foot at a time. You're going to try to touch each square. Now when you use your left foot, this is your left foot, good. Then you're going to go this way. If you use your right foot, you'll go this way, right? So from here, I'm starting the bottom square. I want to just jump up, over, back, over, back, over. Ready? We're going for 15 seconds. Nice and easy. Ready? Set, and go. Up, over, back, over, up, back, over. Try to keep your body in the middle. You can also go, instead of time, you can also go for the amount number. You can give the number for 10. So if you're working with your child at home or your parent at home, you can work and just give them a number. Good, same thing for this. You can do 4 rotations. Good, so now we're going to do 4 rotations. Got it, let's do 5. 5 the other way. Ready? So go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Just kind of training your feet. But that also does these little simple jumping movements. Not only trains the muscles, but also kind of trains not just the major jumping muscles, but also the muscles that stabilize the ankle. And kind of most of what we're doing, since it's a lot of dynamic movement, it requires a lot more out of our ankles that we really understand. So when we're here, when we're doing a lot of movement, and a lot of pushing, and a little driving, there's a lot of stabilizing going on with our ankles that we may not be aware of. And a lot of times I can control our power. It's just those little muscles in your ankle, being able to push and pull and be fast and strong. So that's kind of what we're kind of working on with these side-to-sides and round in a circle movements. And not only the power of getting up in the air every time, but the ability to stabilize and move from spot to spot without losing balance, right? Next one, you're gonna need something to jump over. That's a little bigger, it's about this size. And the cool part is, get creative, get inventive. When you come up with situations where you don't have these things, you can either find a solution or you can find an excuse. And either, to be very honest, and one of the two will kind of dominate what happens. And I've had, like in this situation, I've had students that have gone outside and jumped over bags of soil. And I've seen some of the No Limits guys. I've seen people that have jumped over like couch cushions. They've jumped over stacked up towels. Okay, if you have an excess in like toilet paper wrappers, you can stack those up. You can get creative. You can have a little fun. You can use a pillow, but I would kind of tend to shy away from the pillow because I want you to step on your own pillow. But get creative. Just make sure it's something that is soft enough that if you do hit it, it's not going to hurt your foot. That's why I kind of shy away from anything that's very hard or metal or wooden. So I have like a soft pad, right? And so from here, simple goal is we're going to just work on going from this. We're going to step together. We're going to jump. We're going to tuck our knees. Just a simple tucking up over one. And then we're going to land on the other side. Good. And you focus on making sure with all these drills that we're not running up to it. Right? We're not trying to build all this momentum to make the jump easier. I want the jump to be difficult. I want it to be strictly just the muscles used to jump into the air. By momentum, I mean I don't want you guys to go, right? I want you to be very stationary. The only movement you have is your back foot coming to your front foot. Good. You tuck, you jump, you tuck your knees up, and then you focus on the landing as well. So from here, there's not a lot of people. Your two main focuses when you do the jump is I don't want a very large forward swing of your body. Okay, and so again, I'm saying this for you and also the person, if somebody's there to watch you, to kind of pay attention to what you're doing. When you're here, I don't want your head to guide this momentum. I don't want this. Good. There's no point in sparring where your head is way out in front of your feet. There just isn't. Because when you're off balance, you're falling. You're trying to catch yourself as opposed to being underneath yourself and strong. Right? So in this case, I don't want here. Chest stays up, head stays up. Here. up through your legs. As you jump, you pull your knees into your chest, not behind you. Good. So it's, when you land, you try to land as soft as you can. Good. It may not be super silent, but at the same time, I just don't want that smack. Your goal is to land on the same part of the foot that you jump off of, which is the ball of your foot. If you're jumping off the balls of your feet and landing on flat feet, I'll hear it, ready? You'll know, so, and that slows your body down a lot. You've got to stay light on your feet. So instead, it's good. All right, so we're gonna wrap that, ready? We're just gonna do 5. Actually, we're doing 10, sorry. But we're gonna go over and back. I'm gonna show you how to recreate that if you wanna stay with me. So it's together, land, and then all you do is you step forward with one foot, turn, then you're watching the radial again. 2, 3, doesn't matter which way you turn, 4, 5, you're having a hard time getting those knees to come up and land down softly, lessen your chamber, lessen the tuck. So if you point your knees up really high, it's causing you to land really heavy, then just do a slightly smaller version of that. Try to avoid that. We don't kick like that. It doesn't do anything. Pull the knees in tight. Also use your arms. 10, right? Take 2 seconds, get some water, come right back. Now is when things get a little more complicated. So we're gonna do the same kind of concept, but just off of one foot, okay? Because in sparring, a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, basically the entire time, you're on one foot. You're not moving both feet at the same time. Very rarely, you're moving one foot to the next foot. So a lot of times it has to be a bit strong on that one foot, and sometimes going from that one foot to that same foot, right? If you're doing fish kicks, you're not changing feet. You pick up one leg, and then you're hopping on the other one. So the stronger I can make that hopping leg, the more distance I can cover, the faster I can hop, the easier it's going to be to score. A lot of times that's the hardest part is when we're thinking of fish kicks, we think of just the kicking part being the challenge. When really it's not. That part's easy. It's the hopping part. Do I have balance? Do I have stability? Can I do those hops really fast? Can I cover more ground? Can I get really far with those hops? The more ground you can cover, the further you can jump, and the faster you can jump, the harder it's going to be for your opponent to dodge or get out of the way. Right? So the way we drill this, and you've done this kind of technique before, but it's kind of hard to visualize it. We're basically doing a flying jump side kick without the kick. Okay? What I mean is, we're going to start here. You're going to step with one foot. Doesn't matter what foot it is. So we're going to do both feet. You're going to step with one foot, and then from there, your other foot is going to chamber up. And that's when you jump off of this foot. Now the challenging part is I have to jump off of this foot and land on that same foot. So I don't want, right, whatever foot you jump off of, I want you to land on it as well. So from here, it's step into it, tuck it, and set it back down. And this leg of the land you jumped off of lands here, your other leg lands in the front, facing where you're going. Because then, if I turn around, now I'm already set back up to do it again. That part can be complicated. Right now, I want to just break this down to individual sets. We're going to do just one jump and then come back to our starting spot. Okay, so again, start here, step with one foot, whichever foot steps, that's the one that's going to jump because this leg's going to swing. That's all I want. I'm going to come right back. If you're having trouble getting over whatever you're trying to jump over, or if you trying to jump over something is distracting you and you're having a hard time committing to this motion, then guess what? Just move it out of the way. It makes no sense to jump over something if you end up doing the drilling correctly because you're worried about jumping over something. That's supposed to add a challenge, not make you do the drill wrong. So again, if you try to jump over something, cause you to go, whoo, then just move it to the side and just jump. Just get this part right. That's all I want. You step, jump. Good. It's whatever leg, in this case it's my left leg. So I step with my left leg, I jump with my left leg, I land on my left leg as I'm skipping. Good. If you want to add a challenge to that, instead of just flicking your leg up, pull your knee into your chest. Real hard, real high. So really focus on how high can I chamber that leg that I jumped off of and land on it. So you're good. Good. Straight to the side. Good. Tuck, back down. Good. And then you're also trying to land soft. There's always a way to challenge yourself and make these drills harder if it's too easy. Good. And I like when it's too easy for you. That means you're doing great and you want to add a challenge to it. So again, we're just going to do 5. Do it. Come back to the starting point, and then do it again. Ready? Go. You can also do it again if that's too easy. Try to make it higher. 3. We're going to do both sides. 4. 5. Other side. I'll start from this side so you can see both sides, or you can just go to the same starting spot and then come back this way. And again, it's other leg now. Other leg. Try as little pre-motion as possible. So I don't want you running into it, but the only momentum you have is your body leaning forward and stepping. That's it. 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay, from there, you start to add a lot of cool drills. Next one being, okay, from here, we're going to work on 2 different types of explosion. Because the last drill we're going to do, okay, 2 types of explosion are vertical and horizontal, going up and going out, right? In class, we do frog jumps, we do what are called broad jumps, we do tuck jumps. We work on both of those, okay? We've done a lot of jumps up, a lot of tuck jumps, a lot of bunny hops. So now we're going to do what's called a broad jump, which is where you lower yourself down, and not here. You kind of sit down, almost like you're going to sit into a chair. Then you jump forwards, good. Trying to see how much ground you can cover forwards. Now, right when you land, you're then going to jump up and tuck jump over it. So you're having to catch your body, slow your momentum down, and then jump up. So it's 2 different challenges. The really challenge is your ability to land with control. So it looks like this. There, okay? You jump forward, you land, load yourself down, take a small pause, and then pop up into the air. So doing it a little slower. Let's sit down, jump, and take your arms with you. From there, good. Squat, tuck jump. So it's the first drill we did, now added a challenge onto it. And then of course, ways to increase this. If you notice that you are jumping as hard as you can, but like you're almost having to not jump as hard as you can because you're getting way too close to this bag, back up, increase the distance. Make yourself jump further. If that's not high enough, you're still able to keep good technique, jump higher. Make it a competition with yourself, not with anybody else. That is your biggest opponent. Your greatest rival is nobody else but yourself. Good. You should be able to motivate yourself and push yourself harder than anybody else could. Because you know your greatest strengths and you know your biggest weaknesses. Woo. Good. Do one more good one. And really heavy there. But those are kind of the bigger goals that we're working on. We have those simple drills. Okay, we just kind of stay in line of your feet, whether it's the over and back, good, or the side to side. So we're on one foot around in a circle. Good. We also have the double the tuck jump over the bag, increasing the height of the bag to increase the difficulty. We also work on landing softly. You can do the one-legged jump, and I'll go back to one back kind of show. Make sure if it's the one-legged jump, the hardest part there isn't even the jump. It's getting the technique right, getting the flow right. So it's got to be make sure kind of your emphasis is whatever leg you jump off of, you're also landing on that one. So if you notice that you're jumping off one and you're landing on the other one, that should make you go, ooh, that's not right. So instead it's got to be step, tuck and land. And start by just scanning over the back, land that foot in the front, turn your hips forward. And then from there, because your body wants to, you're also kind of from this way when you land, you should land on the other side. So if I have my left foot in the front if I'm just going this direction, when you land, you should land with your right foot in the front. You are changing sides when you land. Because you're here, watch. If I can turn sideways. So I start like that to you, and I land, I should have my stomach toward you, right? Because I switch sides kind of as I was hopping. And so that's kind of your main focus, just getting that tempo down. And then as you get the tempo down, you start to lift your leg up a little bit higher. You start to, instead of pulling your foot into like this, so like that, then you start to come up this way. And then from there, instead of going that, now you focus on that, still landing softly. And then as that continues to get easier, make sure you work both sides. Then as that gets easier, you start to stack things up higher and higher. Give yourself more of a visual challenge. And so you're kind of creating your own kind of fun little drill sets with these, because they're fun. I enjoy these. I hope you guys do too. But then also they're really challenging, and they really, really help your balance, your control, and your ability to explode your body in any direction while you're sparring, which is super important. But again, you're not only working how to move fast, but also how to land fast and land strong, so I can quickly go a different direction if I need to. That's all sparring is quickly adjusting and moving your body in a bunch of different directions reactionarily. So a lot of it's we're moving where we want to move, but then if our partner comes from a certain direction, we have to now react and go the other way without thinking about it. So it's a lot of, we're having to build these habits, and a lot of times these habits can only work with whatever limits our body can do. So if we increase our ability to jump high and to jump far, not only to jump high and far, to land very safely while we're doing it, then it speeds up how many times we can jump, how far and how fast we can jump, and then our ability also again to change directions safely. So we can then stay light on our feet, because I don't know about you guys, but my favorite way to block something is to not be there. Having good blocks are helpful, but I don't like to get hit at all. Not many people do. And so if you don't like to get hit, working on your ability to move quickly from side to side, forwards and backwards, is very helpful in dodging techniques and blocking it by not being there. All right, good work today. I hope you kind of add these drills to what you guys are already practicing. If you need some more, I'll have some more for you Thursday. So if you guys come on back and feet together, bow, you are dismissed.